For more now, let's bring in Dr. Ashish Jha, Dean of the Brown University School of Public Health. Dr. Jha, thank you for being with us. It seems right now everybody knows somebody or perhaps several people who have COVID right now. What do we know about the transmissibility of Omicron?
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me back. What we know is that this virus is spreading very, very quickly, doubling in numbers about every 2 to 3 days. That's unlike anything we've seen. We think it's a combination of just inherently being more transmissible and being able to get by people who are vaccinated and cause at least mild breakthrough infections.
Mild breakthrough infections for people who've been vaccinated. But for those who have not, what do we know about the severity of Omicron?
Yeah, there's still a lot we don't know. At this point, there's a little data out of South Africa that maybe it's milder. The data out of the UK suggests it's not milder. I would say we're not sure. For the unvaccinated, this still continues to pose, unfortunately, a very substantial threat.
We are now in the middle of holiday travel season, the busiest travel week, we believe, since the beginning of this pandemic, all while this Omicron variant is spreading like wildfire. What is your advice to people who are traveling, especially on planes right now during this week?
Yeah, the good news is we know that planes themselves are pretty safe. What I advise family, friends who are traveling over the holidays is obviously it'd be really helpful if they're fully vaccinated and boosted. That, I think, is the most important thing. The second most important thing is wearing a good mask, wearing a high-quality mask, because airports, other places don't have such great ventilation. And so you want to make sure you keep yourself safe. So travel is doable and safely, but we got to take care of ourselves.
We are seeing so many events being canceled, from Broadway to the Rockettes to some pro sports events. And I know you've been an advocate for keeping schools open, but there's a lot of question marks as to what school is going to look like in January. What would you suggest? What's your advice for parents?
Yeah, my advice for parents is we have learned a lot in 2 years in this pandemic. We are not in March of 2020. We know how to keep good schools open. So how do we do that? The data is pretty clear on this. Masking indoors makes an enormous difference. I would keep masks on in kids during the Omicron wave. I think testing on an ongoing basis, making sure everybody who's eligible to be vaccinated, now all kids can be vaccinated, that'll make a big difference. There are a lot of things that we have learned about how to keep schools open, and I think we can apply those in this wave and keep schools going in person, full time for everybody.
Dr. Jha, I said at the beginning of this interview that we all know someone, assuredly, who has COVID right now. We just heard two prominent senators here in this country, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, both just announced they have COVID. And a lot of people have been asking, is this just something? Is Omicron going to be something that all of us at some point are going to get?
Well, hopefully not all of us, but I do think lots of people are going to get it. Look, it's an incredibly contagious variant. I think people should understand that the goal cannot be to avoid infection at all costs. That's an unrealistic goal. The goal should be prevent deaths and severe illness, which vaccines will do, keep our hospitals from getting crushed, which, again, vaccinations and testing can help with. This is very contagious. Lots of Americans will end up getting it. Let's just make sure that they don't get very sick from it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And Dr. Jha, finally, we had pretty much a very similar conversation with you this time last year. And I think if I thought we were doing this again, I would have pulled my hair out. But it begs the question, where do you think we're going to be a year from now, next Christmas? Is there any real sense of when this might be over, at least get a lot better?
Yeah, look, I think we're going to be in a much better shape next year. Why am I so confident? Now, we've had a year of vaccinations. We're going to have this Omicron wave, and that'll build more population immunity. I am not saying COVID will be gone next winter. It will be around, but we should be able to get better and better at managing it. This winter is so much better than last year, and I expect next one will be so much better than this year.
And we will leave on that high note. Dr. Jha, thank you, as always, for being with us today.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.